right. Check my sound levels, make sure everything is okay. Give me a second. Alrighty, what is happening, y'all? It is me coming back check again with another live hangout vid. Yeah, I know. Sorry, y'all, talking to the wife. Let's get this situated. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. See, that charges. Okay, that charger works. All right. Alrighty, y'all. Looks like our levels are very good. Okay. All right. So what is happening, y'all? Coming back at you again with the live hangout vid. Let's see how many people came up in the comment, or actually the comment section. So got a couple people so far. Got a couple likes. That's what's up. So let's see here. We got a lot to cover here. Well, not too much, but we'll just touch on the main core, or actually that's the same word, the core topic right now that's been rambling in the state of boxing at the moment. So obviously the dominating headlines is, oh, there's some feedback here. Let me put this on mute. There we go. So basically, right now, the dominating headlines at this hour, or this moment, or the last 2 hours, or last 24 hours, is that Jarrell Big Baby Miller's PED saga. And the reason why I call it the PED saga is because not only that he failed one drug test, which is for a substance called CW1516, he failed the second PED drug test, which is for human growth hormones. And now most of us have discovered about an hour or two ago that he's failed a third PED drug test for a different banned substance called EPO. So, man, as they always say, 3 strikes you're out, man. And all I can say is that at this point, Big Baby's career is in shambles, and I just don't see how he can recover from this. I just don't see how any sanctioned body could give him a shot at redemption, as you want to call it, in other terms. I just think that at this point that he's facing a lifetime ban, not only from the WBA, but also from the WBC, the WBO, and the IBF. I just can't see how any sanctioned body will give this man a shot give him a shot at, or sanction him to compete in their sanctioned bouts. I just don't see it at this point. And he did put out a apologetic video, a short Instagram video or a Twitter video, what a social media response to it, and he's admit that he's fucked up, and he looks very depressed. And I mean, look, man, all I could say is that there should be no remorse for you. It's just that at this point, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You knew what you were doing. You were potentially trying to hurt AJ. Even though that man doesn't deserve to be in a situation like this, as much as we all, as much as some of us criticize him, including myself. It's just that no fighter deserves to be in this situation. Now he's has to scramble around looking for an opponent for the May 1st date, which I'll get to, pretty very shortly. So I just don't know, man. I just don't know. We just all pretty much in a consensus now that this man should receive a permanent ban, a lifetime ban. No excuses, man. You fucked up. This is like your fourth PED test that you failed. One in MMA, and now you failed the 3 in boxing. It's just like, what the fuck is going on, man? Do you really need to have all these advantages going into a championship bout? I mean, you could have potentially hurt AJ. I mean, just be real. You put his life at risk right now. I mean, to be fair, fighters, when they step into the ring, PEDs or not, they do put their lives on the line all the time. But still, though, the situation like this, the greater chances of him potentially hurting him would have been vast at this point. So, Hamed, what's going on, man? So, Texas, what's happening, man? Yeah, it's just disappointing, man, to see this, and it's no excuses for AJ. I mean, not AJ for Miller. He definitely needs to suffer the penalties under sanctions that will be bestowed to him. So the New York State Athletic Commission has revoked his boxing license, so there's no way he can box in the state of New York. I have a feeling that in there he's not going to get a sanction. He's not going to get a license anywhere else now. So he's done. I just don't see how he could recover from this. I just don't see it. I'll be amazed somehow, some way he could recover, but I just don't see how he could. I just don't see it. The Texas, I agree, man. He said the writing's on the wall, especially him hanging out with those big time lifters. I mean, yeah, I know, especially with the bodybuilders. That right there was like a red flag. I gotta admit that. Hamed says, "Dan, that's why I don't understand why other channels are still hating on AJ. It's Miller who deserves to be banned." Yeah, I know. If anything, I haven't really seen any channels try to criticize AJ for this. Maybe for the first drug test, which I don't understand why they're doing that. But for 2 or 3 drug tests, he doesn't deserve to be criticized for this. This is not his fault. How's he supposed to foresee what was going to happen, or what his opponent was doing with the PEDs? That's not his fault. It kind of reminds me how Deontay Wilder was getting flack for the failed drug tests for his opponents because of his opponent's wrongdoing. I mean, particularly with the Povetkin and the Ortiz situation. So, I mean, mainly the Povetkin situation, a lot of people were running around with this conspiracy that it was his fault that Povetkin failed the drug test. So and it's funny though, because somehow, some way, when Povetkin, I hate to bring back Povetkin into the limelight here, when he failed this drug test for the leading up to Bermane Stiverne fight, there was somehow people criticizing Wilder for that. I'm like, whoa, really? Wilder's not the guy who was fighting Povetkin at that point. It was Stiverne. So it is what it is. Yeah, I heard that, Hamed. They were saying that on the first drug test that Miller failed. And the reason why some of those channels were going by that logic, because Billy Joe Saunders was the one who put out that conspiracy that Eddie Hearn was the one who set him up to fail the drug test against leading up to the Demetrius Andre bout, which caused him to be stripped for his WBO title. So, again, that was the narrative they were running on that particular situation. But again, it was wrong for them to do that. I just don't see how. I mean, that's just a very, very, very bold claim to somehow tie Eddie Hearn to the reason why Big Baby failed the drug test, and why he was the reason why Billy Joe Saunders failed his drug test. So I don't know, man. Like I said, these are wild conspiracies, like very similar to how people accused Wilder for the reason why Povetkin and Ortiz failed their drug tests. So a lot of people believe that he was the one, or Al Haim and PBC was the reason why Povetkin was set up. People believe that too. So there's a counter argument in that situation. I agree. Dan Wilder got so much unnecessary criticisms for Povetkin's PEDs and Ortiz, and with Ortiz, and that was Ortiz's fault. And Povetkin was a little bit complicated, but definitely wasn't Wilder's fault. Yeah, I'll admit that the Povetkin Meldonia situation was a bit complicated, but I still have reason to believe that he knew what he was doing in that situation. I believe he knew he was doing. Of course, we couldn't prove that, but however, with the Ostarine, that was no excuse right there. He still tried to claim innocence in that situation. But I was like, no, 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 no. You failed 2 drug tests within a year, within 6 months, I should say. 2 different banned substances. Yeah, that right there is not. Yeah, Povetkin didn't deserve. He definitely deserved to be, penalized for that situation. But it is what it is. Some people thought he should have gotten a lengthy ban. He got only like what, 6 month ban. But it is what it is. He paid the crime. He paid the time, as you want to call it. He paid the price for that. So it is what it is. Amir, what's going on, man? Salute to you, brother. Yeah, but again, it goes back to the point, Hamed, that both Wilder and both AJ don't deserve to be criticized for their opponents failing drug tests. They don't. They don't deserve that criticism. Did Povetkin win a lawsuit clearing him? I was like, no, no, George, he didn't. That lawsuit was first of all, that lawsuit was to pay for the penalty that Wilder and his team had to pay the costs that they paid, or the overhead, I should say, for the expenses they had to pay to get that fight going. They wanted to be paid out of that situation. Of course, the court didn't see it that way. They won the first case, and then the appeals got. Then Povetkin's team won the appeal. But then again, I don't. Wilder's team was supposed to appeal that decision, but we don't know what went on from that. We don't know what went on in that from that circumstances or in that situations. I don't know what the current standing on that is concerned. But what I can tell you is that the WBC did not clear Povetkin. They still held that against them. What they told him is that, okay, we cannot prove that you consumed the drug before the WADA banned it or WADA banned it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put you on a probational period. You're going to have to pay out of pocket for their clean boxing program, which Povetkin agreed to. And then we're still investigating you over the Meldonia situation. If WADA finds any new findings regarding your case, we'll make a decision in that area. So he wasn't cleared in that situation. He was only cleared on a provisional basis, which means that he was still investigated. But then he got popped for Ostarine. So, yeah, he's not an innocent bystander in that situation. Ryan Biskey, yep, exactly. Yeah, Texas, like Povetkin got some powerful people behind us. So being here is at this. Yeah, that's the reason why he's still in this, still in contention, because he's got a powerful billionaire in Ryan Binsky. He's got powerful backers behind him that pretty much bought their way into him getting only a short term ban, which is only 6 months, which some people believe he should have got a 1 year ban. But it is what it is. We can't, he got the ban, but it's only 6 months. Kind of like Canelo's situation with, De La Hoya and Golden Boys. So since he's a big cash cow and he's got powerful backers behind him, he only got a 6 month ban. So it is what it is. But anyways, yeah, like I said, Big Baby's done. Nothing else. There's nothing more else to be said about this. I mean, there's no point of submitting for a fucking B sample. We all know it's going to come back, positive. I mean, it is what it is. Amir says that 2.5 year ban for Big Baby. Nah, man, I think it should be a lifetime ban. To be honest with you, it should be. It should be a lifetime ban, in my opinion. I've heard 2 different stories on the Povetkin Meldonian. Ring IQ agrees with you, which makes sense, because then I heard that what Victor told me, which was interesting. He said VADA destroyed the test results. Well, I mean, there's a conspiracy behind that, but I don't, I haven't really read much into that, but I'll definitely have to look into that again. As further, to be honest with you, it's probably a case where we need to go back and review. But that was like 4 years ago at this point. I guess we all moved on from that. But it is worth bringing up because a lot of people blamed Wilder for that whole Meldonia situation, which was very absurd. Yeah, it's funny you brought those guys up, Ahmed. They were pushing the agenda because they were. See, this is the thing. They didn't like Deontay Wilder at this point. Of course, Deontay Wilder is not liked by many people. They were all pushing Povetkin as the most dangerous heavyweight at that point who could potentially dethrone Deontay Wilder's title. They were all pushing him. They were all behind him in that situation. They just wanted to do whatever they could to get that title taken off Deontay Wilder. They didn't want to see an African American heavyweight hold that belt. Let's be real. They didn't want to see that. They all had a tribal agenda, as you want to call it, and they were pushing this little narrative that Povetkin was innocent, this, that, and the third. He only took a legal limit, and there was another nutcase who was running this case who thought he was a fucking science, a scientist or an expert on the YTBC. When not, he don't make no more videos because he put his whole credibility on the line. And when Povetkin got popped for a second drug, he kind of really, he probably went elsewhere. It is what it is. He doesn't deserve to be named on this channel. But I think what also was the last straw that broke the camel's back with him was with the Ward to Kovalev situation and Canelo getting beat by, Canelo beating Golovkin. So all those guys are gone now. So it is what it is. And thank God for that. you know? What else we got here? Texas says, yeah, he took HGH, which can be injected. That's a wrap, to be honest with you. Yeah. Hamed says, yeah, Victor was using logic, not being biased. Guys like Pretender, yeah, we all know that. Those guys, Maxwell Bear, yeah, that's who I was referring to, who's now formerly a Holyfield fan. Thunderdome, we're just hating on Wild. Yeah, I mean, that's what they were. They just didn't like him. I mean, obviously there was, there's tribal reasons why they didn't like Wilder, but it is what it is at that time. Quad says that he won a $4.3 million federal court case. So was that money paid out, George? Did Wilder's team pay him $4.3 million? Because I didn't think they paid that money. I think that's still up in the appeal process. I know it's taking longer than expected. Because remember, Povetkin's appeal took a long time before that got approved. So with the courts. Yeah, I mean, look, he is still a cheater. Yeah, he did have a small victory, but that victory does not it didn't completely overshadow the fact that he definitely is a cheater. I agree with you. Cousin Skeeter says you were talking about provide. Yeah, well, him and the couple other guys too who are blaming Wilder for why Povetkin failed the drug test. So that this is worth warranting revisiting, because now there are some channels who are saying that AJ is responsible for why Jarrell Miller failed the drug test, as Ahmed brought it out. And don't get me wrong, I like some of those dudes, but they're totally wrong in that situation. AJ is not to be blamed for this. It's not his fault. Again, we can criticize AJ, and I've criticized him, but he doesn't deserve to be in a situation like this. He doesn't. And neither did Wilder in that situation with Povetkin, neither did with Ortiz. So it is what it is. That's a fact. And Triple G didn't deserve to be put in the situation with the Canelo drug testing controversy. So there you go. So we all got to be fair here. You have to be fair here. You got to be neutral in a situation like this. There are fighters that you don't have to like. You don't have to like a fighter. But if he's put in a situation where his opponent got caught doping up, trying to cheat, going into a ring with a potential try to hurt the man permanently, you cannot criticize him for that. That's not his fault. Yeah, Hamed, I heard that debate too, and that was embarrassing. That was that was a beating. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: I just don't think that Precise recovered from that. That was a beating that he took from Ring IQ. That was a beating, a terrible beating, terrible beating. They had 30 days of appeal, which they didn't. Okay, so they didn't appeal. Okay, so no wonder I didn't hear any updates about it. Okay, fair enough. All right, George, fair enough. Agreed, Dan. You have to be, to be fair, Golovkin, Wilder, and Joshua did nothing wrong. Yeah, they didn't do nothing wrong. And Golovkin and Joshua, and I criticized them, and I've criticized Wilder to an extent. He's one of my favorite fighters, but those guys were not wrong in that situation. They were not wrong in that situation. It's just, to me, it's just like, why? You don't have to like a fighter. You don't have to like him, but for a situation like this, you got to be fair. You cannot blame him for that. You can't. And speaking of fairness, Amir says, and speaking of fairness, no other cheater has got a lifetime ban, bro. So to only do so for Miller is only unfair. It's also is a very bad look for only a black fighter to get a ban for life. It reveals a lot. You know what? You may have a point there. You may have a point. That's a good point, because there are been other cheaters who have gotten caught. Like Antonio Tarver got caught with 2 banned substances. Obviously, he's old as hell right now. He's no way he's getting another shot at a fighting again. He's 51 right now. So, but still though, yeah, no other fighter has gotten a lifetime ban. Antonio Tarver didn't really get a lifetime ban either. He just got sanctioned, but we don't know the extent of that sanction. So you do have a point. If Miller does give a lifetime ban, what does it say for others who got caught? But here, cousin Skeet says that look, he got caught 3 times though. That's true. He got caught 3 times. So, what other fighters got caught 3 times though? Can somebody look it up for me? Because I can't recall. Maybe there has been a fighter who's got caught 3 times, but did that fighter, when that fighter got, if there was a fighter that did caught 3 times, which I think there was a fighter who got caught 3 times for a banned substance, did that fighter get a lifetime ban? Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm actually over my 1 year in my marriage so far. So yeah, it's been a blessing, man. I am very happy right now. Me and my wife are very happy right now. We're moving into our next chapter in our lives. So yeah, I'm definitely happy. I'm in a good place right now. Um, I'm really Sean Rasman. What's going on, Sean? He says, I'm really surprised to hear this news. At first, I really thought it was just for supplements. Yeah, I mean, the dude just was putting all types of PEDs in his body. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You just like, you got to be ignorant or you got to be that fucking stupid. And I have to go with the word stupid with Big Baby. He acknowledged that he did stupid shit. He just didn't think he was going to get caught. And again, this is the reason why I was a little skeptical about him, because it's like, this dude refused. He adamantly refused to be sanctioned, not be sanctioned, be ranked by the WBC. Why? Because they were running that year-round Olympic-style clean boxing drug testing program, which he refused to enroll in. That would explain why he refused to get into that program, and this is the reason why he refused to be ranked by that section of body. You know, Amir says, I can't remember who, but I do know other fighters have been caught 3 times, not just back to back. You got to take into account the better tech today. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But, it's worth looking up, though, because I have to look up to see what fighter's been caught with a banned substance more than, at least 3 times. Obviously, I have never heard anybody get caught for more than 3 times. But let me take a look. Boxers, drug PED 3 times. Let me see. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, other than Mia St. John, a female boxer who's admitted she used PEDs in her career. Well, actually, she never tested positive for anything that I can think of. So, it is what it is. I know why. We all know why she did it, because in light of the Canelo controversy, Eric Morales. Oh, Eric Morales, he failed 3 times. Well, yeah, I know Eric Morales failed. I think he failed twice over the Danny Garcia situation. I think that's what that was, but I didn't know he failed 3 times. So I have to go back and check on that one. But if he did fail 3 times, he definitely didn't get a lifetime ban. So there's one instance that Amir may have a point there. Tommy Morrison? Nah, Tommy Morrison, I don't think he's never failed a steroid test. He admit that he took steroids through the course of his career, but I don't think he failed a drug test. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we all know he was an infamous steroid user, but he never failed the drug test. That's the thing. But back then, we know the drug testing programs weren't very stringent back then. Let's see. James Tony got caught once, obviously. Fernando Vargas after the De La Hoya fight, that was once. Mosley with that's with the Balco situation. So, but he never failed the drug test though. That's the thing. Vander Holyfield, there has been a lot of accusations towards him. Obviously, Roy Jones. So technically, these are fighters who never failed a drug test throughout their boxing careers. So what about Juan Manuel Marquez? Well, he never failed a drug test either. But what I can tell you is that there are some points at some time in his career he refused to do a drug test for some of his fights. So we don't know yet about Marcellus Wilder. We don't know if it was a PED. We don't know if it's weed, because we know the Wilders like to get high sometimes. Well, Deontay at one point did get caught with marijuana. That was years ago, but obviously he never failed the drug test for marijuana. But that case was kind of held quiet. That was cleaned up quietly. JD's, what's going on, JD? JD says that how many times is VADA testing in Wilder's camp, though? The WBC clean glossing program doesn't seem weekly or random enough, to be honest with you. You know what? I will say this, though, JD. If you're a cash cow fighter or if you're a very significant fighter like Wilder, I'm not saying Wilder is a cash cow. He's getting there. He's not a cash cow, but he's a very valued fighter for the WBC or for boxing, by that matter. Canelo Alvarez is a cash cow, and AJ is a cash cow, and Klitschko was a cash cow before he retired. Canelo is, De La Hoya, all those guys. I could go down the list, but what I can tell you is that if you're a cash cow or you're Floyd Mayweather, you are going to get some preferential treatment by these for these drug testing agencies. You are going to get that. I'm going to keep it real. Now, we can't prove, we don't know exactly the extent of this clean boxing program and how their program works, but what I can tell you from what's on paper, they're supposed to do this year round with all the fighters, including guys like Canelo. And let's be fair, though, Canelo got caught, and he's a cash cow. What does that tell you? You know, so Wilder is not an exception to the rule. Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying that he's getting all preferential treatment. Maybe he is getting some favoritism. I don't know. But no one is above the clean boxing program once they enroll. Nobody is. Not even Canelo was. We all thought he was going to get a slap in the wrist in that situation, but apparently he didn't. He got a 6-month ban. He got suspended. So if Canelo, a cash cow, could get suspended for PED, then Wilder at one point is going to get caught. I don't think obviously, he's clean for now. AJ is not even in the clean boxing program. He's in a different boxing program for the UCAD. We all know how UCAD works in some cases. But, obviously, AJ, if he decides to enroll in it, then we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, let me see. CMD, what's going on, brother? Ronell Higgs, babies love milk from the bottle, but Big Baby loves juice from the needle. Yeah, what's going on, Rock? I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Yeah, we already answered the Marcellus Wilder question. We don't even know what the extent of that PED. We don't even know if it was a PED. It could be a pop of cocaine and marijuana, like David Benavidez. For all we know. Amir says that there was some old ass fighter that failed, like in 94, 97, or some other year. Yeah, I have to look it up. But if he did fail 3 drug tests, but not in a concession like Big Baby, then he didn't even get a lifetime ban. But we'll have to see. Tommy Morrison did have tests where he tested positive for AIDS, but which he had before he started his pro career. You know what, though? I read something about that too, which is very, very damning, because I read that he was HIV positive before he fought the likes of Ray Mercer and the Michael Bentz and the George Foremans. And those guys could have been affected by him, thank God they didn't, but Jesus Christ, this dude was fighting while he was HIV positive at that time. So, God damn. Shannon Briggs failed twice. Yeah, he failed the drug test twice, but the question is that, Sean, did he? What fighter has failed at least 3 drug tests but never got a lifetime ban? That's the question that we have in hand there. The Klitschkos have gotten away with PEDs a lot longer than a decade. Well, what I can tell you is that Vladimir Klitschko, a great career that he had, but we have to be honest here. He got so much preferential or favorite treatment from the sanctioned bodies for the drug testing agency that he used in Europe. Okay. What I've learned, that man never got drug tested randomly. He never got drug tested after fights. So that's the word from the grapevine that I got from him. That's the story that I've learned in that situation. If somebody could shed some light on that. I mean, that's some scandalous situation right there. I know that's the reason why him and Povetkin couldn't agree to a fight for such a long period of time, because they were arguing over their drug testing, which company they should go with, So it is what it is in that situation with the Klitschkos. Dan Hamed says, Dan, the clean boxing program is crooked from the horse's mouth, Vanez. Well, look, I'm not saying it's a perfect program. I know it's had some flaws. I'm not saying it's a perfect program, but you got to be bearing with the WBC. They have been catching a lot of people, especially on the Nevada program. They've been catching a lot of people. They even caught Canelo. What does that tell you? They've been catching everybody. So let's be fair. And I know they've been giving some fighters slap in the wrist, which is not right. We all believe they should have got harsher penalties. But the fact is, these fighters are getting caught. They're getting caught. They are serving some type of penalty one way or the other, including Canelo. They need to do a 360 drug testing like Donaire and Edwin Rodriguez. Yeah, props to them. They're doing all around 360 drug testing. They all props to them. Klitschko only did VADA against AJ. Yeah, that was the only time he ever used VADA. It was for that fight. Level 2 boxer says $6 million man, a Big Baby Miller, a bionic man. Yeah, yeah, he fucked up. Let's be real. He fucked up. He acknowledged it, and I just don't see how he can recover from this. Let's be real. Let's be real. Olaf the Mighty, what's happening, man? Long time no here, man. Long time no here. I've been good. Habez says, yeah, they just need to be more consistent. They just don't need to be testing some fight. They just don't test some fighters enough. Agree on Canelo. Yeah. Do you think Golovkin is on the needle? Well, Sean, I don't. Billy Joe Saunders, I will say this, though. I'm not going to accuse Golovkin. Golovkin didn't fail a drug test. He did complete the clean boxing program. He's still on it. So I got to give credit where credit is due. He's enrolled. He voluntarily did it. He did everything right. But Billy Joe Saunders, because people will wonder how come Golovkin's power is not what it used to be. In one instance, after like I said, when he went into the Kell Brook fight, he didn't like blow out Kell Brook. Yes, he stopped him, but Kell Brook wasn't knocked down, nor he was he was knocked out on his feet. The fight was stopped due to his broken orbital bone. But people were questioning how come Golovkin wasn't able to put away Jacobs, a guy who was known to be chinny. How come he wasn't able to put him away like that, like he put away other lower tier competitions with his power, his freakish power that he supposedly had? Well, Billy Joe Saunders commented on that, and he says, well, the reason why Golovkin isn't able to put away guys like he used to is because he's no longer on steroids. He's getting tested randomly year round. That's what Billy Joe Saunders said. So, like I said, that's just the accusation that Billy Joe Saunders made. I'm not going to go there on that route, but that's what he said. But it is, like I said, he's clean from the looks of it. He's partaking in the league boxing program. I'm not gonna go there with Gennady Golovkin. He's doing everything right. So, but Billy Joe Saunders was the guy who brought that up, which is interesting. But that was a couple years ago when he brought that up. But it is what it is. Texas says, I heard from the good fella that on some channel out there that no testing protocol for the Golovkin fight. That there's only part that's a bit shady if true. Oh, so Golovkin and the what was that guy name? Steve Rose, whatever his name is. I think his name is Steve Rose from Canada. So there's no drug testing protocol for that fight. Oh yeah, I gotta look into that. I definitely gotta look into that one. That right there, it is a bit shady, Texan. I mean, that's very shady. I didn't even know that. I gotta look into that. I hate to repeat myself, but yeah. Level 2 says that VADA has 2 programs year-round and pre-fight program. Is the WBC year-round? Yeah, the WBC clean boxing program is year-round. Olive the Mighty said, yeah, Billy Ho just got popped, so he's the one to talk. Yeah, that's true. This is before he got popped. Wade, I mean. Oh, you talking about the Wade fight? Oh, okay. You're talking. Oh, okay, not the current fight. Okay, I'm about to say. Oh, the Wade fight. Maybe that was the case. But what I can tell you is that back then the clean boxing program didn't exist back then. So maybe there's some truth to that situation. But now we're talking about Golovkin has enrolled. He has partaken in the clean boxing program. He is getting tested year round. So I got to give him props for that. So he voluntarily did that. He didn't have to do that, but he did. So it is what it is. So let's shift gears a little bit. I'm gonna bring some guys here. I'm not gonna be on here too long. We're gonna chop it up on thoughts on AJ's potential replacement opponent. And well, before I get into that, let's talk about the AJ and Luis Ortiz saga too. I'm gonna briefly cover that. I'm damn shame. I don't like the fight, but this is BS. Yeah, I agree. Personally, I think the mafia is tied into some of these drug scandals. Overseas, the mafia is involved in something bigger. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, look, the mafia has controlled boxing for, many years ago. It's not mob control like it is not mob controlled anymore, but they may have some bit of influence somehow, some way, because you can gamble legally. Legally you can gamble, on big fights. So maybe there are some control in that instance, you know? So let's see here. Now, as far as Ortiz and the AJ Saga. All I can say, there's some conflicting stories I'm hearing here. Eddie Hearn came out and said that Anthony Joshua was his first choice of replacement opponent was Luis Ortiz. Eddie Hearn reached out to Jay Jimenez, who is Luis Ortiz's manager, about making the fight, and Jimenez just came out and said, "Wait, that's a short notice. There's no way we can take that." And Eddie Hearn says, "Look, I disagree with him." Whatnot. And then Cali Enigma, who actually has close connections to the Ortiz camp, who talks to him on a regular basis, who has interviewed him on separate occasions, he's came out and said, look, the Ortiz camp said that, first of all, we never gotten an offer by Hearn. We never declined the fight. We want the fight. We just need an offer. Send us an offer sheet. We'll look at it. We'll sign it. We'll take it. That's what Cali Nipman is reporting. So we don't know what's going on. I just don't, you can choose who you're inclined to choose what to believe in that situation. Is very conflicting. I don't know what to believe at this point. I do know there's a deadline set for Ortiz to accept the offer by Tuesday. Actually, there's no offer. They're saying they never received any offer. So we don't know what to, we don't know who to believe at this point, Eddie Hearn or, Cali Nipma. Well, Cousin Skeet says that, look, Cali Nipma isn't a real source. But look, here's the thing. Cali Nipma has interviewed the Ortiz's camp on numerous occasions. He has. He's shown proof of that. He's actually put out clips of his interviews. He's very closely connected with that camp. He talks to them on a regular basis. So we can't really doubt Cali Nipma. I've seen the interviews myself. I have. He does have close connections to that team. So why would he go out there and lie about that? I just don't understand. What motive does he have? I mean, we all got all channels got agendas, but I just don't see what real motive for him to go out and lie about that. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Yeah, I don't believe neither. Well, I mean, Hearn does have a history with Ortiz, although Hearn is a legitimate promoter. Enigma is not legitimate. He leads to think things out of context. Look, it's not about if you're a legitimate promoter or not. It's the fact that Cali does have close connections to that camp. He has interviewed them on many occasions. He does talk to them on a regular basis. So I have every reason to, look, like I said, we could choose who we want to believe at this point. It's rather conflicting, but we need to get the full story behind the situation, because Eddie Hearn I'm not going to go on to say that he has lied, but he has misquoted he has misquoted many things on many occasions. He has done that as a promoter. He's not totally told the truth on many occasions, and neither promoter has done that. Let's be real. Neither promoter or manager has done that. I'm not going to single out Eddie Hearn here, but we don't know what's going on here. We got to find out the full extent to this. Hopefully we get more, information to this situation. But I do hope that Luis Ortiz does accept the fight. I really hope he does get the fight. I really hope that Eddie Hearn does give him the money that he should deserve, that he rightfully should deserve, especially taking the fight on a short notice like this. I know some people want to argue that 6 weeks is not really a short notice for a heavyweight. But at the same time, in one instance, it is in a way, because they have to go back. They have to study the fighter. They have to look at the film. But to be fair, Ortiz did say that he studied AJ for a while now, so he knows his style, this, that, the third. So we gotta get some more information on this situation. We gotta see who's telling the truth here, because the Ortiz camp, according to Cali Good, said they never got an offer. Hearn is not telling the truth here. Hearn is saying that I did call them and I did offer them to fight. So we don't know. We got to see what's going on here. Yeah, I know. I heard something about that too. $10 million. That's a stretch for Ortiz. That's a huge stretch. Maybe all I can say is, why not just give him the money that Miller has offered, that Miller's got? Give him the 7 million. Give him the 7 million. I don't know. Why hasn't he said anything on camera or English? I mean, yeah, I know. That's another thing I want to point out, George. His team should put something out on social media about this. They should. I don't know. Maybe they're instructed to stay quiet about this. I don't know. I don't know. Look, you guys can all discredit Cali as much as you want to, but the man does have close ties to that camp. He has proven it. He did put out a video. I've seen his live stream. He has played his interviews. He has, he has played his conversations with their consent, because there's no way he could do that without their consent. With their consent, to play the conversations and interviews that he has conducted with that camp with Jay Jimenez and Luis Ortiz with his translator. He has done that. So, so we have to wait and see on this. But needless to say, guys, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I think it's gonna be Michael Hunter. I agree, Texan. I agree. It's gonna be Michael Hunter. It's going to be. And somebody, one of my friends, my closest buddies, pointed this out to me. We had a conversation about this, and he says, Dan, do you think it's kind of strange that Michael Hunter was the obvious choice? And I said, why? I was like, why do you think that? I was like, well, think about it. He was signed to Matchroom about 2-3 weeks ago, right? I was like, yeah. Do you think that Big Baby had failed the drug test prior to us finding out about it now in the last couple of days? I was like, you know what? He may have a good point. Because if you think about it, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy here. Just kind of like connect the dots, and this is a pattern. Because maybe Hearn and Joshua knew about the failed drug tests weeks before we all knew about it publicly. And that's why they signed Michael Hunter, because they needed an American heavyweight to go in, as a replacement in a situation like this. And now he's more likely going to be announced as the replacement opponent for next week. So I think it's going to be him. I'm not going to read too much into that, but I definitely think it's going to be him. But someone also floated around the idea it's going to be Manuel Char. God forbid if it's Manuel Char. If it's going to be Manuel Char, that is a disastrous of an event. Okay? I'm sorry. It's just no way you could sell Manuel Char versus Anthony Joshua in America. There's just no way you could sell that fight. I just don't see how you could sell that, to be honest with you. There's just no way. Now, Michael Hunter is a tough sell as well, but at least he's an American. At least you could try to sell that one more so than Manuel Char. I mean, yeah, you could sell the fact that he went 12 rounds with one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Alexander Usyk, undisputed cruiserweight champion. I mean, he gave him a really, really, really tough fight. And he also beat up two heavyweights in Alexander Ustinov and Martin Nicole. What is it? Martin Nicole? Not Nicole. I'm sorry. Martin. What's the guy's last name? Yeah, Bacoli. Yeah, Bacoli. Yeah, Martin Bacoli. So yeah. So I mean, no, Char's actually. No, his suspension has been lifted now. He's been lifted, so he's available to fight. Level 2 boxer says, yeah, hell yeah, they knew. We haven't even seen any marketing for this fight since the press conferences. Yeah, I mean, they probably knew about this a few weeks before we knew about this publicly, which is a couple of days ago. That's the reason why. This is what one of my friends floated out this idea. That's the reason why they signed Michael Hunter, because this is a backup plan. They knew what they were. Hearn and Joshua knew about this. I mean, that's what he's assumed. He may have a point, but it is what it is. Yeah, Ben Reynolds says that Hearn is going to make Michael Hunter an opponent. He's going to keep it in-house. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's obviously going to be Michael Hunter. We all know it's going to be him. But again, it could be a hat trick. It could be Manuel Char, which I wouldn't call that a hat trick. But I mean, again, God forbid if it's Manuel Char, because if it's Manuel Char, trust me, I will criticize that fight just like I criticized Deontay Wilder fighting Chris Ariella. Just like I criticized him when he was fighting Andrew Warsick in the comeback fight coming off an injury. I definitely criticized Wilder for that. I was like, hell no. I don't care you have coming off an injury. You've had problems with the hand before. You should not be fighting guys like that. You're a world champion. Plain and simple. March 20th test was the first failed test. That was a month ago. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was a few weeks. That was a month ago. You're right. Yeah, they knew about that. Yep, fair enough. There you go. Joshua should fight Pulev or Ortiz. Well, Pulev is definitely is very unlikely because of his legal battles right now with Jenny Sushi. So that's definitely off the table. Kornacki's definitely off the table because he's already got a fight coming up. Ortiz, like I said, I don't see Ortiz happening. I would like to see Ortiz, but I just don't see that fight happening at this point. That's not going to happen. I know people are going to run around saying that Ortiz ducked the fight, but I don't know. Like I said, we're getting two conflicting stories right now. Ortiz's camp saying, according to California, they have not received an offer from Hearn. Hearn saying that he gave him an offer. So we got to find out who's telling the truth here. So it is what it is. It's a replacement, though. His first opponent failed 3 drug tests. Yeah, I know that, Skeet. I know that. But still, though, freaking Manuel Char, though, because there's plenty of other fighters that were more deserving that fight than freaking Manuel Char. Let's be real. Trevor Bryant, Well, he is ranked by the WBA pretty highly, so maybe you could sell that one. He's an interim champion, but I don't know. That's a tough sell. But I can tell you one thing: Trevor Bryant and Michael Hunter are more suitable as a replacement than freaking Manuel Char. I'm gonna just keep it real, and we all could agree with that. We all could agree. So level two says Chris Arreola is a better American on a short notice than Hunter. Well, you know what? You're right. Chris Arreola is, I mean, at that point, yeah, he is. But of course, Chris Arreola is very, very washed up. Um, but Michael Hunter, like I said, nobody's really there's gonna be some criticism for that fight, yes. But to me, I'm not gonna fault AJ for that. And I gave Wilder criticism for the Arreola fight. I really did, and I stand by that criticism because I felt he should have fought someone better than Arreola, in my opinion. But let me see who's better than Michael Hunter at this point. Definitely Luis Ortiz, but it doesn't look like he's going to take that fight. He's not going to. I just don't see it based off what's going on. There's two conflicting issues here. Let me just look at the rankings and see who do we have. Joseph Parker said he's willing to step in, but we don't want to see that fight again. Let's be real. We definitely don't want to see a Joseph Parker and AJ fight again. That's not going to happen, especially on American soil. No, no. Uh, let's look at the rankings. Let's look at the heavyweight rankings. Let's see. Let me see. What's that? Damn, what's that website that does all the rankings? Fight News ranking. Yeah, fightnews.com. Let me look at that. All right. So let's see. You have, well, you ain't got too many to choose from. Derek Chisora. I know David Hay said that Derek Chisora is willing to step in. David Hay made a call to Eddie Hearn and said, that, look, Derek Chisora will fly out to America. He'll fight AJ on a short notice. Do we really want to see AJ versus Derek Chisora? I mean, Derek Chisora really, he got knocked out in his last fight. So do we really want to see him fight AJ as a last minute replacement? No, I don't think so. Yeah. The Olympian that he fought, what was the guy's name? I forgot his name, but he said he's willing to replace him. He'll be a last minute replacement, but he's not ranked by anyone right now. So I just don't see how he. Well, who anything the WBC could pull a last minute hat trick and get him ranked in the top 15 like they did with Ariella, with Fort Wilder. So, let's take a look here. Definitely Tyson Fury's tied up with Tom Schwartz, so definitely Tyson Fury is definitely not. Dillian White, yeah, he's not going to take that fight. Oscar Rivas, I would like that. I mean, look, Oscar Rivas. Why don't they go shoot for Oscar Rivas? I think that would be a good replacement fight, but I don't think AJ Hearn's going to go for that because Oscar Rivas is a very dangerous fighter at this moment. Yeah, Oscar Rivas definitely. If not Ortiz, then go for Oscar Rivas. I'd rather them try to go for Oscar Rivas before they choose Michael Hunter or God forbid, freaking Emmanuel Char. Before you choose Michael Hunter, go for freaking Oscar Rivas. I'd rather them choose that fight, but I just don't see him going for that. I really don't see it. I'd rather them go for that if they can't get Ortiz, which is very unlikely, than go for Oscar Rivas because that would definitely be your last alternative. And then Michael Hunter would definitely be your last resort, which obviously I think it's going to be him. So Texas says that Oscar Rivas has been having some eye issues recently, word around the bush. Well, he's always had eye issues. I mean, that's nothing new. So if he's able to get cleared to fight Brian Jennings here in the States, so he definitely could get a clearance to fight AJ. So I definitely would like to see that fight. I definitely want to see it. Hamed says, "Yeah, Dan, this actually is a very good stream, man. You need to do more lives like this more often." Yeah, I should, man. I should. Ed Riddle says leave Shazor in the UK. Yeah, Derek Chisora. Yeah, we don't want to see him. Let's be real. No disrespect to Derek Chisora. He definitely does. I mean, come on, David Hay making that call. No, David Hay. He's just trying to get that purse, that $7 million purse for his fighter, so he can get a piece of that percentage too. Ain't no way we want to see that fight. No way. So I mean, yeah, I think Hearn and Joshua should go after Oscar Rivas. If they can't get Ortiz, which again I have to repeat myself, I don't see that fight happening at this moment. Let them go after Oscar Rivas. I think that's a fight that should be made. So yeah, again, looking at the heavyweight rankings, there ain't really much choices here. I mean, you got Julian Zhang that Eddie Hearn just recently signed. He's ranked by the WBO, but obviously Zhang is not going to sell here in the States for AJ. It's no fucking way. So yeah, there ain't really too much choices here. Daniel Dubois, he's still prospecting in the UK right now. Shit, that's not going to definitely happen. So yeah, so ain't too much to choose from right now from the heavyweight rankings at this point. There aren't much good USA heavyweights. I mean, let me see. If you go down the list, well, Big Baby's definitely off the list right now. So if you look at the U.S., yeah, I mean, we only got Brazil, we got Kwanaki, we got obviously Wilder, who's a champion. Charles Martin starting to redeem himself a little bit. Michael Hunter is on the rise. So Andy Ruiz is still hanging in there. Hell, Andy Ruiz said he will step in. Didn't he not say that? So Andy Ruiz, I go for that fight. I'd like to see Andy Ruiz in there against AJ. That's a decent fight. Why not? Make that one. So Luis Ortiz, he's Cuban but American based. So yeah, we got some pretty good American heavyweights. Yeah, again, Ski, again, Rivas has always had eye issues. He's had eye issues prior to the Jennings fight. He was supposed to fight Amir Mansour in the U.S., but that fight got called off due to the fact that he couldn't get a license due to his retina issues. But yeah, he's eventually got a license to fight Jennings, so they definitely can work their magic getting him licensed to fight Joshua here if they could. I know they could do it. They could. Joyce talks the talk, but then he says he isn't ready. Well, it's not him that's saying it. It's his Camp who's saying that he isn't ready. He recently fired Abel Sanchez and got Adam Booth, and that's very strange for Joe Joyce. This is his third trainer in his what in 9 pro fights already. He's switched trainers twice already. That's definitely not a good sign. That's definitely that's like a red flag to me, and I'll definitely have to look further into that why he keeps doing that. So let's see. Hamed says that what about Joyce and Tonioka? Tonioka, nah. Tonioka is definitely not ready at this point. No. I know he's ranked in the WBC, but he's not ranked by the WBA, the IBO, and the WBO and the IBF. He's not ranked by those other 3. He's only ranked by the WBC. So I just don't. Nah, Tonioka, no. No, that's out of the question. Let's see. Let's look at. I'm just looking at going through the rankings here. Let's look at Orlando Solis is a better name than Hunter in the U.S. Orlando Solis. Oh boy, I don't know about that, but it is what it is. Ortiz would get beat badly by AJ. Ortiz's last fight, he looked very vulnerable. Well, at this point, I might slightly favor AJ to beat Ortiz. He definitely looked kind of old against Christian Hammer in that fight. So, I mean, if anything, it is the right time to take him at this point. And, I know AJ and Hearns now very confident that they can beat him at this point. I mean, a couple of years ago, they weren't confident. And now at this point, Ortiz has been in tough fights with Wilder. A very, he's had a very tough fight against, even though he dominated Travis Kaufman, who doesn't look good against Kaufman, but he definitely looked pretty vulnerable when he fought Christian Hammer. So he's definitely in for the taking at this point. Let me see who else we got here. Yeah, Herkovich and Ajaba. Afi Ajaba, nah, man. I mean, those guys are still prospects. Let's be real, man. Those guys got ways to go before they're even considered in title contention. Let's be real. Let's be real. So they have to do like Rocky, pick the best name on that list. I agree, Reynolds, man. I agree, man. I agree, but again, I just don't see Ortiz as the guy. I just don't see it because there's too many conflicting stories on that matter. And then obviously it's going to be Michael Hunter. It's going to be Michael Hunter, but I hopefully I'm wrong in that situation. Hopefully I am wrong. I am. Hopefully I am. I hope it's something. I hope it's Oscar Rivas. I hope it is. I really hope. I really hope. Hearn signed all the heavyweight prospects. He is. So is Heyman. Heyman's got a jobber. He's got I think he's got who else he's got as a heavyweight prospect. He's got Let me see. Well, I think our job is the only one he's got right now, so he might be signing more pretty soon. Let's see. Shannon Briggs, nah. Shannon Briggs at 48 years old. If they pull a Shannon Briggs, if they got him in there, in fact, Shannon Briggs is not even ranked right now, so he hasn't even got his he hasn't even yeah. I mean, if anything, he's not even sanctioned right now by any. I mean, he's not even ranked by anyone at this point. So uh, nah, that's not happening. Let's see. Imagine Joshua and Briggs for a fight. Her, Hay, and Briggs might fight. I mean, yeah, those are two old guys fighting. That'd be more suitable. But for no, Shannon Briggs versus AJ, Shannon Briggs is gonna get seriously hurt. Forget that. That'd be a massacre. And AJ will definitely get he'll be severely criticized if he takes a fight like that at this juncture. He probably deserves to be criticized for that. AJ should fight Holly Harrison, man. That you guys got jokes now, man. Come on, man, y'all dudes. Oh, come on, man. Y'all dudes. Come on, man. Stop it, man. Amir says, look, it ain't gonna be no Michael Hunter. It has to be, it's definitely someone known. They're backed into a corner. Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, Ortiz definitely would sell that fight. It'll definitely get out those last 3,000, 4,000 tickets that needs to be sold. Ortiz definitely could help sell that because he's known in that area. After the Wilder fight, he has had a great standing with his with the crowd. His popularity has risen after taking a loss, so he's known here now, especially in that area, in that Brooklyn area, the tri-state area. So he definitely would help sell out Madison Square Garden. But yeah, but at this juncture, I just don't see it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Hopefully, he does take that fight. I think that should be the fight. But if not Ortiz, then definitely Oscar Rivas. If it's not Oscar Rivas, then okay, fine. We have to deal with Michael Hunter. At least they tried. At least they tried. I say give Ortiz 6 million and get the fight going. Well, why not push 7 million, Skeet? Why not push 7 million, especially if it's on a short notice? Why not $7 million? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna be on too long. I always thought of bringing some guys in, but I'm just probably just close it out as a solo stream. I don't have the energy right now to chop it up. I'm just keeping it real. I got other stuff I got to do, but I'll probably be on here for a couple more minutes. Kornacki, yeah, Kornacki's manager, they came out and said, look, we've already got a fight in place already, so there's no way Adam is going to take the fight right now. So they've already got a bout set up for for the next month or two. So they've already took their name out of the sweepstakes, as you want to call it. And Mala, what's going on, man? Mala says they should throw some good money at the Ortiz. He is aging. He will likely get the payday. Yeah, like I said, they maybe if anything, if he's taking a fight in a short notice in a situation like this, maybe they should give him an extra $1 million and say, okay, we'll give you 8 million or $7, $8 million to take the fight on a short notice. How about that? Compromising offer, 8.5 million or 7.5. He should take it. He should take it, to be honest with you. Hamed says, Dan, do you do one on Sunday and get a full panel, hopefully? Yeah. I definitely do one on Sunday, especially for the Crawford and Khan fight that's taking place. I know Garcia and Granados is happening, but who really cares about that fight at this point? Khan and Crawford is the one we all care about. So we'll definitely, I'm gonna assemble a full panel on that one for Sunday. Definitely, Ahmed. I'll definitely get you on. Texas says, yeah, they really should press for Ortiz. The zone is really trying to sell a product here at AJ's first U.S. fight. Yeah, they should. They should throw an extra million, $2 million for him to take it. It is something he can't refuse. He should take it. He should take it. But we'll see. But I just don't think it's going to be him, though. More like it's going to be Michael Hunter. Kornacki would have been a punching bag. Let's be real, but he should have got that money. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Level 2 says that Ortiz should take any offers over 5 million. Yeah, he should take 5 million. I think he should take the current offer that was offered to Big Baby. He should take that. Pencil him in. Rather, you erase Big Baby's name off that contract and pencil him in for that amount. plus the other stuff that he was going to get for that fight. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It's a good stream, good points that you made. Yeah, man. Anytime, anytime. Cousin Ski says that look, his highest personal is 500 grand. Yeah, I get all that, but at the same time, at a short notice in a junction like this, and you need to fill out that Madison Square Garden, and you only got almost about what 6 weeks away for the fight. Almost about 6 weeks. You ain't got much time left, so you got to sell those other tickets. Who else is to put in there? Ortiz. Ortiz can sell that. Let's keep it real. You gotta have to make it worth his while at this point, because if you're an AJ in her situation, yeah, it's not their fault. They're in a compromising position right now, and they got to impress the zone big heads here. They got a lot of pressure right now. They're under a lot of pressure, so they got to do something to get a suitable name to help fill out that stadium and get some good ratings on for the zone broadcast. They got to do something here. Dwayne, what's happening, man? He says that Big Baby should have a salad for Christmas. Well, hell, he need more than that. He might as well go vegetarian shit or go vegan. you know? Yeah, Ortiz can't say anything about big fights if he was legitimately offered this fight. Yeah, he can't. He can't really talk. He can't really say that he's been what's the word I'm looking for? He's been what's the word I'm looking for? It's not undermine is not the word I'm looking for. He's been what you call it? He's been he's what's the word I'm looking for? It escapes me. But anyways, it'll come to my mind. He cannot say that he's been not saying blackball, that's a strong word. I'm saying he's not the word blackball. He's been iced out. Here, frozen out. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. He can't say that he's been frozen out where he's, if he's been legitimately been offered a lucrative fight at this point in this juncture. So he can't complain about that if that's the case. Dwayne says that listen, if they pay Ortiz, they will always there'll always be excuse if Ortiz loses. Well, look, to be fair, I mean, it is a 6.5 week notice, but for a heavyweight, that's not much of a difference because you don't have to cut weight. This, that, and the third, it doesn't really take that much to get in shape. But in one instance, I get that, but you do have to study the fighter. It takes a lengthy amount of time to study a fighter and study that style. It does take a lengthy amount of time. Let's be real. So even as a heavyweight, you have to take time to study your opponent. You have to. It's not about cutting weight. You don't have to cut weight. Or it doesn't have to. It's not always about getting in shape. It's about studying your opponent. So that's what it is. Let's see. The current offer is Big Baby is perfect. Either way, if Ortiz wins, he's going to have to knock AJ's asses out twice. So if there's no intention for this fight, because this is on short notice, there'll be more than the next. Well, fair enough. That's a fair enough point. Let's see. If there's no intention, this fight could cause on a short notice, because it's a short notice, there will be more than next. I mean, well, maybe. Let me see. Dwayne says Ortiz might as well wait to have a full camp, so when he gets slept, there's no excuses. Fair enough, Dwayne. Fair enough point. Dwayne, he is aging. He would bear off taking the fight now. Yeah, but when he loses, the excuse will be, I didn't have a full camp. Yeah, true. All credit for beating Ortiz. Stop the excuses. Yeah, he gets full credit. He gets full credit if AJ does win that fight. Which at this point, I would have to favor him slightly now, given the fact that Ortiz did look kind of old in his last fight. He did look like he's slowed down a bit. He did. Shit, I still want to fight Ortiz, but I know the excuses will come out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, we all want to see the fight now, but it's just not. I just don't see it's going to happen, y'all. It's either going to be narrowed down to Michael Hunter, but if not, I definitely hope it be Oscar Rivas. I'd rather see that fight. But knowing Bob Arum Top Rank, you know how they are. They like to make things tough in the negotiation table. It's given the things that Bob Arum has said about Eddie Hearn recently, has not been very good. So we'll see. But that doesn't mean they can't work with each other, because Arum has worked with Don King in the past, and Arum does not like Don King. He has said some disparaging things about Don King, and Don King has said some disparaging things about Bob Arum in the past. But they both made the biggest fights in history. They both did. So credit to them for that. So we'll see. I want to see Ortiz fight so we can see how AJ and Wilder look against their previous opponents. Hey, fair enough. It's fair. I mean, we can see how Wilder looks against Brazil, and we can see how AJ looks against Ortiz if it were to go down. Fair enough. Fair enough. They're both fighting each other leftovers, as I want to call it. You know, it's hard to believe that Eddie offered the fight to Ortiz. You know what? You know what? Like I said, according to Cali, I have to reference him because he's the one who talks to that camp closely. He said they did not offer the fight. They were not offered the fight. They did not get an offer. Yeah, Eddie Hearn is saying this, but they didn't get an offer sent to them. So, um, I mean, and to be fair, Eddie Hearn hasn't even come out and even addressed that yet either. So he probably will address that tomorrow. We'll wait and see. He hasn't even addressed that. He hasn't even addressed whether he sent the offer to them. So, yeah, we have to wait and see when that comes about. I'm pulling for Ortiz, but honestly, he got the advantage fighting orthodox fighters for his whole life. So whereas the southpaw AJ fought was Charles Martin, yeah, true. Cousin Skeet says that he should take the $6 million and get a chance at 4 belts. Well, to be fair, it's 3 belts. The IBL is not a recognized belt. Hey, we gotta stop counting that IBL as a legitimate recognized belt. It's not a recognized belt, guys. So please, it's 3 belts, not 4. All right, let's be fair. Okay, guys, I think I'm going ahead and wrap it up. It's been a very good stream. I'm glad you guys can go ahead and chop it up with me. I know I haven't had I haven't had assembled a panel. I just don't think tonight's the night to do it because I'm got other things I have to do. Shout out to all you guys in the comment section. Hamed, level 2 boxing. Well, actually, before I go, I want to read your guys' last 2 comments. I can't see Ortiz turning down a fight for anything less than over $5 million. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. We'll see if he gets the offer according to Cali's team, Cali and Nitma. Let's see if Ortiz team does get the offer. How many rounds do you give Brazil? I think Brazil will last at least. I would say. I know initially I said maybe 5 rounds. Maybe I'll stick to that. Maybe 5 rounds. I don't see him surviving no more than 5 rounds. I just think he's just too slow. He's too lethargic. He's just very uncoordinated. But hey, he's got heart. He's got respectable punching power. He's got a chin and durability, but he's just a punching bag. And Wilder's just going to move around him. He's going to move around him. He's going to play with him. He's going to toy with him like Wilder did with Stavern. So we'll see. Yeah, salute to you, Amir. Shout out to you guys. Hamed, level 2, Dwayne, Cousin Skeet. JD was in here for a moment. Sean Rosman, not Sean Newton. Sean Romsher, Texan. All you guys in the chat, man. M. Reynolds, as always, brother. I know Tony Ayo. I think he popped up in here shortly. But all you guys, if I missed any of you, I apologize. But shout out to all you guys in the comment section. I am out. Until next time, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.